सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Good evening. Please open page number 18. First quote. We want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. Let us see the first portion of this quote. By which character is formed, that kind of education we want. Before that, what's meant by character? Swamiji says, repeated habits. Character is nothing but repeated habits. Repeated habits alone can form the character. If a man continuously does bad actions, continuously hears bad things, bad words, and all these impressions will be stored in his mind, all those bad impressions, even without his consciousness, prompts him to do evil actions only. In a similar fashion, if a man continuously hears good words and continuously does good actions, and that sum total of the impressions will be good, and even without his knowing, he will do good work only. So here the task is to give all the best inputs through our senses. All of them should be good things. In scriptures, it is said that the nature of the senses, because there is no filtering is there. So they collect randomly whatever the things comes from the outside world. So it is the task of each and every individual to filter them and take only the good things. And unconsciously you should do good work. When that will happen? When our thoughts are prompted by good impressions, and these good impressions will not be made in one day or 2 days. It's a continuous process. It's a long-term responsibility. It's a long-term task. Every day, regularly, at prescribed time in the morning and in the evening. We should sit, we should observe what kind of things we are listening, what kind of things we have seen, what are they, whether they are good or not. We have to check our own faults every day. For that, we must have to sit. You may call it meditation, or self analysis, or whatever it may be, the name. But it is our task, it is our responsibility and our duty, because unless or until you continuously and regularly fill your mind with good thoughts and try to make good impressions in the mind, naturally it will be filled with negative impressions. That's why we must not neglect this, and we should have that courage also several times, because there were several impressions already stored in the mind through the ages. And when you sit for meditation, and you may be amazed what kind of great and wonderful and big thoughts, either they may be positive or the negative, have stored up in your mind. A certain young man went for an interview. He reached the office and he saw the gate was open. So he entered into the office gate, through the gate, and he closed the gate and he walked into the office reception. While going into the reception, he saw in the garden there was a water pipe and water is flowing, not to the lawn or not to any plants there. It's just flowing on the ground. He turned the tap off and he entered and he sat in the reception. And before and just stepping into the reception hall, he saw the doormat was not in proper place, in disorder. So he adjusted it with his feet and he entered into the hall and he sat silently for his turn to come. All the other people who have come for the interview, they have prepared well. They gave nice answers to all the questions of the interviewers. They wonderfully presented in good English and with great communication skills. And all the other aspirants left. And this man's turn has come. Nobody were there in the hall. He switched off the fan and entered into the interview hall. Suddenly, as soon as he entered into that interview hall, the interviewer gave one printout and he gave it back to this man. And what was that printout? It was nothing but the appointment letter. Because there were CC cameras were there in the entire campus. So the interviewer was observing through their body language. And however great they may be answered the questions and their presentation skills may be however great, but this man's character he liked very much. So he was selected in the interview. Thus, he won the situation without uttering a word. So, when we constantly and continuously try to form a good character without much effort, we can win in the life. Okay, have a good day.